So will we start?
Yay!
Yay! Double yay! Everyone has to come close, even the kids, especially the kids. And at the end of the speech I'm going to test you on what I said. Come closer.
Don't knock off the camera.
So hi everyone, my name's Dick Ross, I'm the Mayor, amazingly. The City of Port Phillip respectfully acknowledges the Yalaka-Willen clan of the Bunwurrung language group, and we pay our respects to their elders, both past and present. We acknowledge and uphold their continuing relationship to this land. So, we're here to launch some art, which is fabulous. So, Nina's artwork. It's great to launch. So, let me tell you a little bit about Nina. She's originally from Georgia, formerly the USSR, and has fortunately made St Kilda her home. And indeed, St Kilda is where her kids go to school, the same school that my kids went to, St Kilda Park Primary. Now, her recent work's been inspired, I'm told, by memories from her childhood and recent events in Melbourne. She's received several prizes for her work, including winning the Incinerator Art Gallery Award, Art for Social Change, in 2018. So, you may have already spied up on yon tree over there, bollard up a tree. This piece is part of what we're talking about today. Blockage is a series of, sadly, only temporary ephemeral installations at 3 locations across Port Phillip as a response to the installation of anti-hostile vehicle bollards across Melbourne. So I just need to talk about 2 recent things that happened, which talks to us about how relevant this particular exhibition of art is. The first thing that I want to allude to is yesterday a man was jailed for life, I think, for using his car to kill people. Terrorism is real. But this morning, there was a false alarm. A Special Operations Group and the police invaded Flagstaff Station because they thought that a busker who had a case with his instrument in was a bomb thrower. And people were made to march out of the train station with their hands on their heads in full fear of a terrorist event. So terrorism is real, terrorism is fear in our heads. And it's just amazingly coincidental that these 2 events happened just in the last 24 hours to illuminate what Nina's saying through her art. Spooky coincidence. So Blockage invites us to reflect on the omnipresent bollards that represent fears both real and imagined. We've, as a council, chosen to make public art a priority, and we as a council believe that arts, culture and creative expression is and should be part of everyday life. This artwork's been funded under the City of Port Phillip's Cultural Development Fund, which is an annual arts and grant providing funding for individual artists, arts and community organisation. As we all know, St Kilda's long been the home for artists, bohemians, ratbags, and we welcome the next generation of artists as someone part of our community who we really treasure. We treasure everyone equally, but artists particularly so. This project is, in its most simple form, thought-provoking. It's something that people will I'm sure, have a visceral reaction to. It's probably going to be polarising, and it's probably going to be incredibly interesting. It will certainly make everyone think. And I'm pretty proud of our council that we fund this sort of stuff, and I'm proud that Nina's part of our community. And speaking of Nina, I'd like to introduce her to have a few words to us. Nina!
I have written a PhD here. I'm going to read it out.
This is what happens when you're tall.
Sorry, yes. There are benefits, though.
And you have to get close to the mic, it's very directional.
Okay. So, thank you, Mayor Dick Ross, for your kind words and support. Really appreciate you being here. And thank you, councillors. Thank you, friends and visitors, for making it here to watch this project. Without you, I couldn't celebrate. I would also like to acknowledge and pay my respects to all traditional custodians of this nation to whose land I'm likely to live, work and travel through. Sovereignty has never been ceded to this day. I want to acknowledge a team of people who made this event possible. I want to thank Council for making this funding available and supporting the project. I want to thank Sharon Dawson, Georgia Rouette, and Diane Snedden for their amazing work at the Council helping me with this project. It was amazing. My team, Peter Felicetti, the engineer, Mark Nielsen at Set Square, and Graham Brown at All Stuff. I want to say personal thanks to Chris Fontana, my dear artist friend and writer. It was during our playful, creative conversation that boiled up the tree, the idea was born. I'm grateful for all the conversations that often serve as a fertile ground for ideas. I also want to say thank you to Julie Shields, who is not here today. Yes, she is the real queen of public art in St Kilda. And she always inspired me and gave me advice and supported me. You will see her work dotted throughout the city of Port Phillip. And finally, importantly, I want to thank my family. My partner, Mark, who supports me. I couldn't do it without him. My mom, Mila, she's amazing. And Mark's mother, Zisla, thank you so much for having Mark and coming here. And my sweet children, Audrey and Henry. So this project Blockage is a far cry from my first ball-up-related project in 2017, where I was wearing something like a balaclava and like a black cat, walking through the city at night, scared but determined to paste up some artworks on the bollard, straight after the tragedy on Burke Street. I'm really proud to live in a municipality where the council is open to self-examination, provocation, and an important discussion like this in the daylight, in a public forum, be it in a form of artwork. Also, this is a great council initiative that enables a multitude of art projects like these to pop up throughout the year in various locations. It brings art to public and makes City of Port Phillip a vibrant, socially and culturally engaged hub. So I was actually asked to mention, why should council support temporary or ephemeral public art projects as opposed to investing in more lasting traditional permanent sculptural formats? And I thought it was a really great question. As we know, throughout the history, public sculptures have served as strong manifestation of reflection of political, social and cultural scene or power structures of the time. And one thing is always certain, this will pass too. Every political structure, movement or ideology eventually ends. Every social, cultural concern, attitude eventually runs out and resumes. And this is when public vestiges of the times expire as well. So you must be relieved to learn that the bollards inspired sculptures and all the devastating things that they stand for are not here to stay for long. Unfortunately, the real bollards, walls, barriers, barricades, will be present out there for a bit longer than this project. In fact, we lately hear a lot about plans to build new big walls separating countries, and in Europe it's already a reality. Perhaps those actual structures truly are the unfortunate monuments representing our times. And while my sculptures here are just replicas, ridiculously and literally thrown up in the air to draw your attention to these ubiquitous structures, which are steadily embedded into the psychology of our built environments and architecture. The paradox of materiality, the spectacle of levitating 3-ton concrete blocks, is employed here to make you see these barriers with fresh eyes, to question the accepted assumption, to interrogate everything. My personal experience is that as a teenager, I lived through a civil war in Georgia, becoming a refugee in Russia and later a migrant in Australia in 1996. Living here since then helped me feel safe. However, encountering bollards in the city for the first time in 2017 brought back memories of war, and in a paradoxical way, bollards made me feel unsafe and alarmed. It seems to me that, like the populist ideology spreading throughout the world, barriers and walls incite and exaggerate our fears. They are also signifiers of a loss of trust in our communities. I'm a dreamer, and growing up behind the Iron Curtain, I'm hoping for a future without barriers, at least by the time my children grow up. So hopefully there is no need for permanent monuments like this. And by the way, you can see a second installation called Lifeguard on St. Kilda Beach, and the third installation, Block Place on Upton Plaza. And unfortunately, we won't go to see them here today, but you can do it in your own time. Instead, we can now experience something very, very special. And I would like to introduce a special guest, an artist, a dancer, who will present his 6-minute performance inspired by this installation. And I do ask for your attention. His name is Dedicate. And after seeing my previous works with bollards, Dedicate contacted me and suggested collaborating. I was really excited. I told him about the upcoming project. And so we had a couple of meetings and chats, and Dedicate came up with a composition that we're going to see. Dedicate is a Serbian-born performing artist and choreographer based in Melbourne. He specializes in street dance styles known as popping, animation, and tooting. Dedicate has featured in several music videos, art projects, along with competing and performing at numerous events across Australia, Europe, and Asia. I want to thank Dedicate for performing here today. I'm really excited, so let's welcome him. And thank you everyone for coming again. And we're going to change the setting so the dance happens in front of the sculpture because it relates to the sculpture, the performance. So 5 minutes.